So today I just wanted to discuss about some issues that has been going on in the comments section of pretty much, uh, if not all, my transmission service videos, in which I specifically stated that it was a drain and fill procedure. So just draining the transmission fluid and filling it up with the amount that came out and topping up as necessary after the service, after the vehicle has reached operating temperature, and checking the fluid levels and stuff like that. So for typical automatic or CVT transmissions, you have a torque converter inside the transmission. So when you do a drain and fill service, you're only draining uh, a partial amount of the transmission fluid. You're probably draining maybe a third or 40 or 50% of the transmission fluid. You're not draining everything. You're only draining on what's in the pan, the transmission pan, if the transmission has a serviceable pan. There are some vehicles that don't have a serviceable transmission pan and filter inside. The entire transmission has to come out of the vehicle, and it has to be overhauled in order to change the internal filter or screen. And so the newer transmissions today, uh, majority of them don't even have a serviceable filter. It's built into inside the transmission, so you cannot take it out and replace it. And so but vehicles that do have the serviceable transmission pan and filter, you can take it apart and remove the bolts, and then remove the pan, change the filter, change the gasket, and reinstall everything back. And so the services that I'm doing for a majority of my customers, about 99 or 99.9% of my customers of the time, they only want me to do a drain and fill service. And so people are complaining in the comments section saying that, oh, you didn't drop the pan and change the filter and this and that. Well, here's the thing. Uh, is it, is it your money? No. Is it my money? No. Is it the customer's money? Yes. It's the customer's money. So they can do on whatever they want to do and however they want to spend it as they wish. And so a majority of shops and people like myself are already charging an hour of labor to do a transmission service, basic drain and fill service. This is not including anything else. And if you want to drop the pan, change the filter, is gonna cost probably an extra hour on top of the basic service to drop the pan and change the filter at a minimum of 2 hours in most cases. Now, some shops, they may have reduced their prices to provide this service to make it cheaper for the customer. Like when I used to work for the GM dealership, they used to charge 1.1 on pickup trucks to remove the pan, change the filter, and the gasket is typically is reusable on those GM trucks and vehicles in most cases. And so uh, the only reason why we did this is because there's no separate drain plug to drain the fluid. So there's no really other way to remove the fluid unless you want to suck the fluid out from the part where you have to check the fluid. But that's not really a proper service. And so the issue here is that on domestic vehicles, they have a transmission pan with like 20 bolts or or whatever, and there's no separate drain plug to drain the fluid. So you're forced to remove the pan and change the filter and change the fluid. It's, so there's really there's not much that you can do. And the manufacturer has specifically stated on these domestic vehicles, GM, Ford, Chrysler, and so on some Chryslers and stuff, you have to drop the pan and change the filter and the fluid, because that's part of the service. But on the Asian, Japanese vehicles, like say Toyota, some Hondas, maybe Nissan, there's no, they don't tell you that you have to drop the pan and change the filter. You just do a drain and fill, and that's it. And anyhow, so for the GMs, our specific dealership that I used to work at, they only charge 1.1 hours, 1.1 hours to do the service, when really it was a 2 or 2.2 hours to do it. I know on some Fords it's like 2.2 to drop the pan, change the filter in the gasket and whatever, and reinstall it, put the fluid in, and check the fluid level after that. And so, because that dealership I used to work for, the GM dealership, they already knew that the service is very expensive if they charged the regular labor time. So they were pretty much uh, ripping us off, the technicians, by reducing the labor hours, because really it's a minimum of a 2 hour job. We were basically getting ripped off, but we had no choice, and we just got better and faster at doing it. And you could well do the service in just under an hour on these vehicles if you are efficient and quick enough. And so, and the same for the diesel vehicles. I believe the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel engines for the, the bigger GM pickup trucks. And so I know on the Ford's F-150s, I think it's like 2 or 2.2 hours or something to service these transmissions, by doing it the regular way, by removing the pan and everything. And so I know they have some aftermarket transmission pans in which that has a drain plug somewhere, so you can drain the fluid, so that it'll be maintenance friendly. But uh, on the transmission service videos that I'm doing, uh, they all have drain plugs in them, so we just do a drain and fill. And I give the customer the option that uh, if they want to do a drain and fill, if they want to drop the pan and change the filter. In some rare cases, I'll do a transmission flush if the transmission has been neglected over time. But in most cases, I just do a drain and fill, and that's good. And it doesn't harm the transmission. And any service is better than no service if done properly. And so, all of these people that are commenting saying, "Oh, this is wrong," blah blah blah. "Oh, I didn't drop the pan and change the filter." Well, uh, just by dropping the pan and changing the filter and cleaning the magnets and everything inside and replacing the gasket, and you're going to be needing a little bit more fluid, not so much more, but a little bit more, because you're dropping the pan and changing the filter. There's fluid inside the filter. And so the problem here is that that increases the maintenance cost. And you can go to a basic drain and fill service, which is maybe including the fluid, can be anywhere from a couple $100, maybe $300 tops, depending on the vehicle and the fluid used, and the gaskets, the drain and fill washers, uh, if if there are any to change. So from $200 to $300 to upwards can be as much as $4, $5, or $600 or even more, plus taxes. If you want to tell the customer, hey, it's gonna be $600-$700 for me to drop the pan, change the filter, and all of this stuff, it's just gonna be 2 or 3 times more expensive than a regular basic service. And 99.9%, the customer tells me no, they don't want to do it. They just want to do a regular basic service, drain and fill service, because there's no customer that wants to pay $500-$600 to do the service. And some of you guys may disagree with me, saying that, oh, the parts don't cost that much, or the parts do cost that much. And it depends on the vehicle too. Other vehicles have more expensive parts than others. So it's going to be dependent on the vehicle. And so uh, it's going to be 2 or 3 times more the cost. And nobody has that extra money to do this service. They rather do a basic service, and that's okay. There's no harm in that, unless the manufacturer specifically states that you must change the filter, and that is a different story. So specifically on Toyota vehicles, I mostly work on Toyota vehicles too, and there is a serviceable filter or screen inside the transmission that does not need to be changed. You only need to change it only if there's a problem, there's contamination, or if the transmission has been severely uh, neglected, and the fluid hasn't been changed in a very long time. And then if it's clogged up or something, and then you need to change the filter or the screen. uh, Toyota will call it a screen for some reason. uh, I believe that the filter is very similar to any regular filter that you will see on domestic vehicles, but the filter is a lot smaller on these Toyota vehicles. And so the thing is, uh, I've seen vehicles with over 300,000, over 400,000 kilometers with no issues uh, with the transmission, and still has the original transmission filter inside. So these vehicles drive perfectly fine, over 300, over 400,000. And like right now, I have a customer that has a 2015 Toyota Sienna van, and this vehicle has over 360,000 kilometers, and it's had a few drain and fill services for the transmission, but I've never dropped the pan and changed the filter on this. The vehicle drives absolutely and perfectly fine. There's no issue at all. And so I can guarantee you that if you were to do a test on this between the old and the new filter, if you somehow install a transmission fitting adapter, a toolkit on the transmission somewhere to check the line pressure, depending on which gear you're in and stuff, is going to vary, but they have a specification for the line pressure in the transmission. So I can guarantee you that the line pressure will be pretty much almost or close to the same pressure as when you put a new filter in it. It may be like 1 or 2 psi here and there, but I can guarantee you that if that filter is not clogged up, you'll probably see the same readings. And so there's absolutely no need to change these transmission filters or screen on these Toyota vehicles. It's just, if you ask me, it's a waste of money. But I mean, if you're doing your own maintenance, if it makes you feel good, and then change the filter and the gasket and whatever, clean the pan, there's no harm in doing that. uh, is it better to do? Yes. is better if you change the filter and clean the pan and the magnets and debris and the screen and stuff. Yeah, it's better to do, but is it a necessary and required service? The answer is no, it's not. And so you're just wasting your money after that. But for the sake of longevity, it's good. It's no doubt. It's good to change the filter, like to drop the pan, change the filter, and clean the pan. And the other good reason is that you can inspect the pan and see the condition of how the transmission is doing, see how the fluid looks like, if there's any metallic debris buildup, either abnormal debris buildup or just like regular like wear and tear, and that's okay. There's no there's absolutely no issue with that, and that's good. That's good. If you're doing your own service, then you're gonna save money. But these services, specifically on these Toyota vehicles, are not necessary and are not required unless you're having some kind of a problem. So the issue here lies within the customers or the people's pocketbook, and so it's all money in the end. If somebody sees that that something is $600 to $700 and it's not a needed service, they are not going to do it. But something is cheap to do, a couple $100, which is a drain and fill in this case, and then they'll do it. I have no issues in selling transmission services for basic drain and fill, and it's it's rather simple to do, and any service is better than no service. Once again, and so uh, that's it. It's just there's too much. It's been repetitive in the comments section, and I specifically state this is a drain and fill, drain and fill, drain and fill, and people just don't seem to understand, and just ignorant, arrogant, and just don't want to understand the situation here. And again, majority of these vehicles are not my vehicles, it's the customers vehicles. So these vehicles are not mine, and they do not belong to me. There's only a few vehicles that I have that belong to me and the family, and that's it. And so like I said before, these customers don't want to do these services if they are not needed. And so I give them the option. I give them the option between basic drain and fill, or you want me to drop the pan, change the filter. I give them a quote for both, and and 9.9 out of 10 times they're gonna decline the one for the dropping the pan and change the filter. It's too expensive, and nobody wants to pay $600-700 unless it's an absolutely needed repair in which the car needs, and it's a safety item. And so the transmission is operating correctly on these vehicles. I don't see a need to change the filter or anything. It's just a waste of money. But if it's your own vehicle and you do your own maintenance, and you feel like doing it, then there's no problem in doing it. It's better for the transmission to change the filter or the screen and everything. It's yes, it's better for the transmission, but it's not a needed required service. It's optional, and those optional service uh, come with a big price, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap to do these services because the parts can add up fairly quickly. Although, as I said earlier, some people it may disagree, but uh, it adds more to the labor time, adds more to the cost of parts. It's just going to be a more expensive service, and so I can't give you a definitive pricing on how much it's going to be, but it's going to be a lot more expensive when you do the drop the pan service. And like I said before, I know that some of you guys may disagree, may agree, That's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But again, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Because some people in the comments section just they cross the line, and so you need to be careful with your words in the comments section, because otherwise I'm going to have to ban these people from my channel. So everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So some of you guys may agree or disagree, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's fine. But again, it's always going to be cheaper if you do your own maintenance, your own work on your own vehicle, compared to when you bring it to a shop. Because if somebody is working, then you have to pay them to do the work, because uh, people don't work for free, right? So uh, if you can do it yourself, you will save a ton of money by doing it yourself, compared to taking it to a shop to have them do it. So again, I'm just here to educate the people on what I'm doing. So I'm just doing a drain and fill. I show you how to do the maintenance procedure for the sake of educating people. And so when I put a drain and fill service, that's what I'm doing. I'm not here. I'm not. I'm not dropping the pan and changing the filter unless the customer is paying me for that. And if the customer doesn't want to do it, then I'm not doing it, because I don't work for free, and nobody works for free. So, but if the customer comes to me and say, "Hey, I want to drop the pan, change the filter, this and that. I want to pay you for the extra time, uh, pay you for your time to do the service," and then hey, that's okay with me. It's a win. It's a win for me then. But like I said, majority of customers don't want to pay for that expensive service. It's because it's not cheap, and I know it's not cheap because the extra labor and the parts involved. And so yeah, that's it. The that's all I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to clarify that. I'm not sure if the word is going to get out there, but every time I make a transmission video, everybody always keeps on always keeps on saying that I didn't drop the pan and change the filter. That's not on what the video was about. The video is about drain and fill service, so you are going to see a drain and fill service. You are not going to see drop the pan and change the filter. And if there is a video that I make, and then I'm going to state that I'm going to drop the pan and change the filter, and that's it. One last and final thing I wanted to talk about, I probably mentioned it earlier, is that newer transmissions today don't have a serviceable pan or filter. You cannot, there's no way to change the filter, or there's no pan on these transmissions. It's built inside the transmission itself. And I believe there is an internal filter in the transmission, but it cannot be changed. And in order to change that, the entire transmission has to come out of the vehicle and has to be overhauled and taken apart. And so that's only if there's a problem. So those filters, I believe, are lifetime filters, but eventually the transmissions, those transmissions eventually uh, get to a point of failure, and then that's going to be it, because really the manufacturers now are making something in which is becoming more like, not so, I wouldn't say maintenance free, but is less maintenance now. And so they don't want you to play around or to touch these transmissions. So majority of these transmissions now are drain and fill, and that's it. There's no other way to it. Drain and fill, or you somehow do a flush if you're able to do a flush, either by hooking it up to a machine, a flush machine, or doing it the manual way if you can. Other than that, it's just going to be drain and fill. So once again, the newer transmissions, all you can do is drain and fill on these. There's no, you cannot change any filters, or you cannot drop any pans on these. So yeah, that's it. In case of if some of you guys do not know, that's where these things are coming to now. The manufacturers are always changing things around, and so now there's barely any maintenance to be done on these transmissions. Just every so often, drain and fill, and then that's it. There's not much to it. And so when you have these kind of transmissions, they have a limited uh, lifespan, and eventually, well, when it comes to that point in which in which they fail, and then that's it. There's isn't anything that you can do after that. But these transmissions, like I know that some of the newer Toyota transmissions, uh, I know that some of the newer Toyota transmissions, they don't have a serviceable pan or filter. You can only do a drain and fill, and that's it. And that's where the newer technology is going to now. So that's going to be it for this one. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. And now that YouTube, they put a special feature now called hype, to hype up people's videos, to give them uh, more views. So if you can hype the video, is that would be great. Usually it's somewhere at the bottom where the caption is on the right side. You need to scroll through. You'll see hype. I think you can only use it up to 3 times a week, and only for videos that are up to a week from brand new. So from 0 to 7 days from new, and for for channels that have 500,000 subscribers or less, you can hype the videos. And so yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day and take care.